Hello, fellow members of the Midnight Society. Welcome back to another episode review from the show Are You Afraid of the Dark? Last time, we covered The Tale of the Dark Dragon, a David story about a teen who uses dark magic to become popular. Tonight's narrative, from Kristen, is about a rich kid sent to stay with some aunts he's never met, only to be haunted by a ghost. Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this Season 2, Episode 7, The Tale of the Frozen Ghost. We open on Kristen walking alone in the woods. Now, I was expecting David to jump out and surprise her again, being the lovesick stalker that he is, but no such luck here. Instead, we find out that Kristen is apparently walking too fast for Betty Ann and Kiki to keep up with her. Did she develop a speed force all of a sudden? Because she's not running when she first appears, and it takes the other two almost 20 seconds to catch up with her. And that's after she's come to a complete stop. So, if she's not moving faster, did the other two stop and have a tea party?
Aren't you going to invite me to have tea with you?
Upon arriving at the campfire, everyone is complaining about how hot it is. It even gives David an idea.
I said we rename it the Heatwave Society.
The Heatwave Society? Really, David? No. Your speaking privileges are cut off.
Sorry.
Kristen says that it's not that hot, and Frank, being the ever macho guy that he is, replies with,
How can you say that?
Huh. You know, I'm starting to think Frank isn't as tough as he makes himself out to be.
Hey, watch it, man.
Kiki asks how Kristen can wear a jacket in this heat, and the answer is, it's a prop for her story. Of course it is, but I will point out that Kristen is the only society member in this scene not sweating, so maybe she grew up in a hot climate. You know, I spent a good portion of my youth in a desert city, and I used to wear a leather jacket to school. I mean, looking back, it probably smelled terrific, but, you know, the heat just never bothered me.
Turn it up high, Reggie. I want to burn.
Kristen says that her story is sure to give everyone a massive case of the shivers. Not if Bobcat Goldthwait's her bad guy again.
Hi there!
Kristen's story opens on a car driving down the road on a wintry night. She gives some voiceover exposition about our main character, Charles Pemberton Schilling III. Really? That's the character's name. Charles... Wait. I don't even know what I'm complaining about. It's still a better name than Jam from The Tale of the Prom Queen.
Hey, we're just having a goof.
Anyway, Charles Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez III is being sent with his babysitter to stay with his aunts who he's never met so that his parents can go to an out-of-town wedding. They booked a babysitter for the whole weekend? And, why even bother with the aunts? I mean, they have a personal driver, which means they probably have other hired servants. Just have the babysitter stay with him at your mansion? I'm going to say mansion. We cut to inside the car to discover that the babysitter is being played by none other than Clarissa Explains It All star Melissa Joan Hart. Whoa. Hold on. I feel like 12-year-old me was having some kind of a reaction to then 17-year-old Melissa. That's right, I had a major childhood crush on Miss Hart. I wanted to be the one inappropriately climbing a ladder into her bedroom because I refused to use doors. I wouldn't even care that I got friend-zoned because I just wanted her to explain it all to me, whatever it was. I feel like I've overshared. Anyway, we learn that Charles likes to cosplay as the Shadow. Seriously, what the hell is he wearing? Daphne, Melissa Joan Hart's character, even comments on it, to which he replies,
I'm not allowed to catch a cold.
What do you mean you're not allowed? Your mother and I are going to a wedding. You, young man, are staying with your aunts, and if you catch a cold while you're there, you're in some serious trouble, okay? You remember when I grounded you for skinning your knee? Well, this time I will disown you. Father, I know the evil that lurks in your heart, and how do I know? The Shadow knows. Wait, is that my Harry Potter scarf? They arrive at the aunt's house, which is completely dark. Daphne comments how spooky it looks, but honestly, it just looks like a regular house at night. Charles isn't having any of it, though, claiming that they must have the wrong house. He also doesn't want to go to the door, prompting Daphne to say,
They're your relatives, not a couple of wicked old witches.
I mean, look, it wouldn't have been funny then, but now, you know, with the whole Sabrina thing a few years after, it's pretty funny. Anyway, Daphne approaches the front door, and then this happens. Nope. I mean, look, it clearly freaks her out too, but she still knocks on the door. I'd have been like, you're right, Charles, this is the wrong house. Let's go check into the Hilton. Your parents are good for it. The aunts, Greta and Maylene, answer the door by candlelight. They welcome the kids into the house, and then And then for some reason, Maylene looks out the door with an expression on her face that implies she's trying to figure out who farted. Also, I have never seen another human being close the door so slowly in my life. Once inside, the ladies drag Charles' trunk upstairs. Daphne offers to help, but Maylene says that she wants to be good hosts, to which Greta responds,
Maylene, I thought we agreed not to mention that. Greta, dear, I only said hosts, not ghosts.
Subtle. We cut to an upstairs bedroom later where Daphne says that Charles' aunts are totally neat, but he thinks they're weird. I'll say. One stuffed blackbird by the front door, fine. Odd, but fine. Two more on the upstairs dresser, and we've bought a ticket to Weirdsville. Daphne leaves the room to get a bath ready for Charles. Suddenly, he hears a faint voice from outside say, I'm cold. He calls Daphne back to ask her about it, and she says that he must have heard the wind. Later in the bath, we see Charles put a rag over his face to relax? What child takes a bath like that? Did Daphne forget his cucumber slices and mud mask? Anyway, he starts to hear a creaking sound. He takes the cloth off his face to see the bathroom light doing weird shit. He also starts to hear whispers, but eventually figures out that the voices are just coming up a pipe from downstairs where his aunts are. Downstairs is full of smoke from the aunts lighting a wood-burning stove to heat the place that they claim has never worked properly. They open a window to let the smoke out while giving some exposition about money being tight, hence why the power's out at the house. Daphne asks if Charles' parents would help them out, but Greta makes a big deal about how they could never ask for money from that side of the family. The aunts explain that there was a big falling out between their father and Charles' grandfather years ago when Charles I accidentally hired a criminal to work the farm. Greta says the police caught the criminal and hauled him off to jail, but then Maylene says,
I heard he never made it to prison. The train crashed, and everybody on it was killed.
Kristen, level with me. Maylene's not all there, is she? We then cut to the Sam Raimi Evil Dead cam, which causes a window to blow open during dinner, knocking a pie to the floor. It turns out their maintenance man was supposed to fix the latch on the window, but quit. Daphne asks if it's because they couldn't pay him, but Maylene, who apparently has an old lady boner for ghosts, says,
Is that why he left, Greta? I thought it was because of the ghost.
Seriously, what is her problem? Clearly it makes her sister uncomfortable, yet every chance she gets, she finds an excuse to say ghost. Oh, I found a book on anti-disestablishmentarianism. You said we weren't going to talk about that. Oh, don't be silly. I said anti-disestablishmentarianism, not ghost. Daphne wants to know about the ghost, which leads to one of my favorite moments from the episode.
But I'm not afraid of ghosts, and neither is Charles. Are you, Charles?
Ghosts?
I'm not sure which is more priceless, that or Frank's reaction to how hot it was.
How can you say that?
That night, Charles has a nightmare that he's in the woods being pursued by a man in an ugly checkered jacket. The man tells him to give it back before taking something from him. Charles then wakes up from the dream only to have his windows blow open, and when he gets up to close them, he sees a little boy outside in some shiny silk pajamas and sounding like Mr. Burns from the X-Files episode of The Simpsons.
I bring you love.
The boy disappears, causing Charles to run to Daphne's room, but not before taking a legitimately creepy scene and turning it into a cartoon. Once in Daphne's room, he tells her what he saw. He pleads his case and tells her that she has to believe him, which leads to my second favorite moment from the episode. Damn, that's some cold shit, Clarissa. The next day, Charles tells the aunts that the ghost talked to him, and Maylene mentions that it's never spoken to them. Okay, look, I can't move on until we discuss the needlepoint that Maylene is working on. It's an axe. But more importantly, it's a bloody axe. Like, at this point, I care less about the ghost and more about what kind of violent sociopath Maylene is. The aunts tell the tale of the ghost. He was a little boy from a neighboring farm that would come by the house all the time looking for cookies. One day, he was found in the woodshed, frozen to death. But if he made it to the woodshed, why not just go to the house? Like, surely he could have found warmth in the house. And if there was a reason that he couldn't go to the house, just run back to your own house. I mean, nothing heats up the body like a brisk jog. Anyway, the fire in the stove goes out, so Daphne volunteers her and Charles to go get some firewood. Outside, Charles is concerned about getting dirty, which irritates Daphne. She finds an axe and begins chopping wood. She offers Charles a crack at it, but he says,
and I'm not allowed to play with sharp things.
For some reason, this causes Daphne to snap, resulting in...
Oh, look, he's still alive. What a surprise. He survived a little bit of mud.
Charles starts threatening to tell his mom what she did when they both hear the sound of the ghost. Daphne is the only one not to see the ghost so far, so she runs off to find it, leaving Charles all alone. Charles then starts to see footprints appearing in the mud, walking towards him, and for some reason, doesn't immediately make a run for it. When he finally does, he runs into the ghost, who says his menacing catchphrase. But, sounding like an angelic choir boy. Charles tries to escape into the woods, but keeps running into the ghost until finally he trips and falls into a mud puddle. I'd like to point out that this kid did all his own stunt work, which must be the reason that they decided to cover this fall twice. Daphne helps Charles out of the puddle, and the ghost returns again, this time pointing at a log on the ground. Charles remembers the log from his dream and that the kid was hiding in it until the criminal pulled off his jacket. Did Charles fall in another mud puddle off screen? Like, here he is after Daphne helps him up. We then cut to the ghost, and then here he is in the next shot. Like, why does he suddenly look like he's been working in the coal mines? Charles fishes the ghost's jacket out of the log and gives it to him. A metal object falls out of the jacket before the ghost takes it, and once he has it, he's no longer in his silk pajamas, but in regular clothing, presumably the clothing that he died in. He puts the jacket on and disappears, leading Charles to say,
He just wanted his coat.
Man, that kid must have loved that jacket if that's all that was keeping him on Earth. I'm talking like Linus Blue Blanket love. Dirty love.
I'll die without that blanket. I'll be like a fish out of water. I'll die.
The kids take the metal object back to the aunts. Maylene recognizes it as the tool that opens the chimney flue on the stove. Wait, so you've suffered with this thing not working right all these years and all you needed was a small metal rod? No wonder these ladies are poor. They're stupid. Maylene opens the flue and we hear something falling into the stove. They open it to discover well more gold coins than that sound effect indicated. Although Charles scoops up like 2 handfuls worth and there's just no heft to these coins whatsoever, leading me to believe what they actually found are just chocolate coins wrapped in gold foil.
They're fake. They're bogus.
The tale ends with Daphne saying,
Maylene, Greta, I have a feeling your money troubles are over.
Back at the Midnight Society, the gang spells out the backstory of the ghost. In case you didn't pick up on it from the story itself.
Poor kid. He froze to death hiding from the criminal, and no one knew.
Okay, I've got questions. So, the kid saw the criminal hiding the chocolates, the gold, in the stove, and he stole the flue key? Like, I'm not sure why, but okay. So, he runs into the woods and he's chased by the criminal. He hides in a tree, but the criminal gets his jacket. Now, I don't know how that would have worked, but in the dream, he pulled that thing off like he was David Copperfield, so maybe he was a part-time magician. When Charles finds the jacket, the flue key was in it, so why didn't the criminal go back, get the gold, and then skedaddle? Like, why would he abandon the jacket and the key? And then why did Charles find the jacket in the log that the boy was supposedly hiding in? Did the criminal put the jacket back after the boy left? That doesn't make any sense, right? And then lastly, even if the guy took your jacket, unless he stuck around to watch you die, and look, I know they like killing kids on the show, but that's a touch too dark, right? Why wouldn't you just go find another adult? This was a farm. There couldn't have been just one guy working it. Like, everyone in this backstory is dumb. The kid, the criminal, I'm glad they're dead. I really am. Everyone enjoyed Kristen's story, and Gary ends the meeting as follows.
I declare this meeting of the Heatwave Society closed.
Now for the review. Overall, I found this to be a pretty solid episode, with just a couple of minor things that hold it back. The ghost unable to cross over due to something unresolved it's very on brand for Kristen, and is similar to the Tale of the Hungry Hounds, although this is way better. It has some solid, eerie moments using that it's what you don't see that's scary approach, and honestly, it's the strength of the episode. I wish we could have had maybe just a few more of those moments with Charles at the house, just building the tension before we actually see the ghost for the first time. The setting on the farm was decent enough. It gave us a couple of good locations that were used with practical effects to put out that creepy vibe, such as the rocking chair on the porch and the light bulb in the bathroom. Now, they also filmed the woods sequence on location, and, while the overcast weather did help with the atmosphere, I think the finale would have been better suited at night. Also, I love that somebody was like, wait, we're filming in an old house near some woods? I'm totally recreating a shot from Evil Dead. The ghost itself is where the episode loses its impact. I don't understand the silver pajamas. I get that they were trying to go for something otherworldly, but I just think the kid in his original clothing with a good ghost makeup would have been more effective. The kid's voice also didn't help anything. It was too light and airy for me, which I guess could have worked, but there was nothing ghostly about it. Maybe add some echo to it, or I don't know, anything. I think something like this would have been more atmospheric and frightening. Even with my issues, I think there were enough creepy moments that younger me would have definitely been looking over his shoulder while watching this one.
I told you you'd get the shivers.
The acting in this episode is pretty solid, and that is not just my love of Melissa Joan Hart talking. Charles was whiny in just the right dose. He never got annoying to me. If anything, I felt for him. Sure he's a spoiled rich kid, but he's not a jerk, he's just afraid of everything. And for the most part, I felt like, that was portrayed well on screen. Daphne was terrific as the antagonistic babysitter, who deep down just wants this kid to break out of his shell. She had the sass that we all know and love from Clarissa, and even though she did look bored in one or two scenes, overall it was a good performance. Now, I'm not going to address the ghost as he has one line and was clearly directed to be stoic. You know how ghosts are. Those crazy ghosts in their silk pajamas. The adult actors in this one are given well more screen time than normal, and they do great with it. Greta was the more subdued of the two aunts, and it's clear that she's not comfortable with the subject of the ghost, and the actress did a great job showing us that with her delivery and physicality. Maylene, though, really stole the show. She was such a wacky character, just written and performed in a way that makes you question her motives throughout. She's always so anxious to talk about the ghost that it makes you wonder why, and the actress's energy just really seals the deal. Personally, I want to watch the true crime docuseries about all the people that Maylene murdered with a bloody axe and buried on the farm grounds.
They never found the body of that poor man.
Kristen, it's only my second time saying this to you, but I enjoyed your story. Even if the super mega happy ending was a bit sappy, the tale of the frozen ghost meets the approval of the Midnight Society. And, once again, I polled the Midnight Society members, and it was a landslide of positivity for this episode, so my ruling stands.
I don't know what to say. Thank you.
I want to thank the following Midnight Society members for participating in the poll. Emily, Wrestle Recap, Jesse, Angelo, Vinny, Sam, Evelinda, Kendall, Yvette, Brooke, Troy, Ronica, Melinda, Heather, Chris, Kaylin, and Rosemary. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah!
What did you all think of Kristen's story? Did you see it as a kid? What were some of your favorite tales from the series? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out our next episode about the tale of the Whispering Walls. Until next time, are you afraid of the dark?
Ghosts?
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and a share. Be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon to be notified when more Midnight Society episodes go up. And we've got a ton of other cool shows on the channel, so stick around. You might find something else that you like.